Wellness for Life is brought to you by Perham Physical Therapy, Gothenburg Chiropractic Clinic, Mojave Ottawa Community Action Partnership, CHI St. Joseph's Health Weight Management Center, and Natural Alternatives.
Hello, I'm Matt Koffenberg, physical therapist and owner of Perham Physical Therapy. Today we're going to continue our discussion of concussions. In our last episode, we talked about what a concussion is, what are the common symptoms associated with a concussion. Today we're going to talk about general management of a concussion. Why are we talking about concussions? Because concussions are important. They're huge. A concussion is a brain injury. And remember, our brain is who we are. Our brain controls our senses. It controls our mood. It gives us our personality. So we really need to care for our brain. And we need to know what a concussion is, and we need to know those symptoms of a concussion. So remember, the symptoms of a concussion are commonly nausea, dizziness, headache. You can have disturbed memory. You might feel sluggish. So be aware of all those common symptoms of a concussion as we kind of proceed through some of this general management discussion. So if you or a family member or a friend or a co-worker might suspect that they have a concussion, what should you do? The first thing that you need to do is stop whatever you're doing. You know, if you're a high school athlete, you need to not play anymore during practice or that game. If you are injured at work, you need to stop working for that particular day. You need to be aware of those symptoms that we just talked about. If you think you've had a concussion, you need to stop that activity. The second thing you need to do is talk to your doctor. Make an appointment with your doctor, get a thorough evaluation for that particular concussion. After an evaluation, the next thing that you need to do is you need to get rest. Not only do you need to have physical rest, but you also need to have cognitive rest. What that means is you need to give your brain a rest. And the reason for that is quite simple. So let's think about this in a different way. If you were to sprain your ankle, immediately after you sprain your ankle, within hours, that ankle starts to puff up. It starts to swell. That's an indication that it's been injured. We know it's been injured because we see the swelling. We then don't go out and exercise. We don't go run on that ankle at that point. We rest it. We ice it. We allow it to heal. Same thing happens with our brain. If we injure our brain with a concussion, there is swelling. There's inflammation. So if you look at this drawing, we've got the brain, and the red indicates the skull, and then there's space between the brain and the skull. And we talked about that last time, where the brain is allowed to kind of shift and move. The blue dots are representing the inflammation. The most important thing in managing a concussion is managing this environment. We call that the neurochemical environment, that inflammation. So you want to rest. You know, you've got the skull protecting it, so you can't see swelling. You can't really ice this particular area. The only thing that we can do here is rest. So you want to really control the inflammation through rest. The other item, the other chemical that is part of a concussion is going to be what's called a tau protein, T-A-U, the tau protein. Incredibly important protein. When our brain is injured, this protein is released. The tau protein is thought to then gobble up the inflammation. It goes in there and kind of eats that inflammation and gets rid of it. That's a good thing. The not so good thing is if that tau protein sticks around too long, it actually starts to gobble up brain tissue as well. And it can cause cell death within the brain. That is a condition called CTE, which is called chronic traumatic encephalopathy. That is what we want to avoid. The only way you can avoid that is by ridding the inflammation quickly. The only way we can do that is through rest. So it's incredibly important that you rest initially. Now the good news, remember, is that these symptoms will take care of themselves within 2 weeks. 80% of us will be better within 2 weeks. Those of us who still have symptoms after 2 weeks, we need a little more care. Tune in next episode and we'll talk about that. Thank you very much. This is Matt Koffenberg. Give us a call, 218-346-2464.
Coming up on Wellness for Life.
When you add up reputation and integrity, you get honesty.
Iris Homes of Fergus Falls prides itself on over 30 years of selling homes. They simply do things right.
They're an exclusive Schultz dealer, which means more buying power and a more beautiful home for you at a very reasonable price.
The 2016s are in. Stop by and take a tour or take a virtual tour at HirisHomesFergus.com.
Highway 210 and I-94 Fergus Falls.
When your money matters, call Harvest Home.
Hi, and welcome again to another edition of the Wellness for Life, sponsored by Leighton Broadcasting. My name is Karen Lenius. I'm Senior Programs Director here at Mojave, and one of my responsibilities in that role is to advertise and reach out and solicit nominations for the Outstanding Senior Volunteer Program. Basically, what the Outstanding Senior historically has gone on in the state of Minnesota since 1976. So for that many years, that would be 24 plus 15. So for 39 years, we have officially been recognizing outstanding senior volunteers. This is a nominating process that's linked to the state fair. It's actually it's a process that includes the Minnesota State Fair Organization, Minnesota State Fair Foundation, and the Minnesota Foundation of County Fairs. What we've done with this process is we begin to accept nominations in the month of May. We have a celebration locally here at the county fair during July, and then the people who are put forward actually have the opportunity to go as far as being a part of the state Outstanding Senior event down in St. Paul during the state fair. There are some eligibility requirements, and there are some criteria that the judges are looking for when they consider the nominees. First of all, the nominee must be a resident of Minnesota. The nominee's volunteer service are all documented hours of community service that they have completed after they reach the age of 65. The nominee must be at least 70 years old by June 1st of 2016. The nominee must currently be involved in at least one volunteer activity. We have a nominating form that is available here at Mojave Ottawa at the front desk. It is about a 4 to 5 page nomination process. We'd be very happy to help anyone who's interested in putting forward a person who is very actively volunteering in the community, who fits the previous criteria that I mentioned. After the nomination form is completed, which takes a few hours of a little bit of research to find out what exactly that person has accomplished, where that person volunteers, some of their outstanding characteristics. The judges look for things like diversity of accomplishments, how this person's volunteering has touched the lives of others in the community, the total scope of their activities, including their years of service and maybe a variety of sites where they complete volunteering. The quantity of accomplishments and the amount of service again after age 65, the geographic area covered by their service, and individuals are encouraged to submit 3 letters of recommendation. So if there is someone in the community who says, you know, this person contributes great volunteer work for the betterment of all in the community, we would need a letter that supports that as well to put along with the nomination form. If you have a great person in mind, and there are many, many within Becker County who deserve this, please call us. We will help you with the nominating process, or we can just make the form available to you. It is an online form, but I have hard copies as well because some of us don't do the online submissions quite as well as we could. Here at Mojave, please call us 218-847-1385. If you have a qualified volunteer in mind, again, looking for an outstanding senior volunteer for Becker County. And last year's winners, we congratulate them again as well, were Gertrude Krogstad, Janice Ness, and David Burcham. Congratulations and best wishes to all of them who continue to serve their community beyond last year, are still busy at work volunteering. So thanks to them and congratulations.
Thank you for watching Wellness for Life. Brought to you by Perham Physical Therapy, Gothenburg Chiropractic Clinic, Mojave Ottawa Community Action Partnership, CHI St. Joseph's Health Weight Management Center, and Natural Alternatives.